Hello, everyone. So glad to be here with you again today. I I'm really excited to come to the conclusion of the discussion that we've been having on how to be a good listener and supporter uh, when we're engaged in helping each other on our journeys. I've learned again, as I said last week, so very much and do appreciate your feedback that you've been sharing with me as we have gone along this merry way together. Uh, I think that we've strengthened our foundation in being able to help and support each other during this time. And that's always a very, very good thing as far as I am concerned. Uh, my hope is to be the kind of listeners other people naturally gravitate toward. Someone who creates a safe, welcoming space for honest and meaningful connection. Uh, this kind of listening doesn't just make people feel heard, it makes people feel valued. And in a day and age where everything seems to be taken over by artificial intelligence, I think that it is critically important that we show that we want to support the authentic person, not some artificial creation, but the real person. That's who we're interested in. And listening is one of the most powerful ways I think we can assure other people that they are valued, that they are important, that as they are in the moment, they are enough, and that they have the ability to be their very best self, whatever they decide to develop in the future. But they are all right just as they are. So I guess what I'm most trying to achieve now for me, and maybe you will also take it on as a challenge for you, is how to be that trusted listener. Uh, think about the people in your life you turn to when something's weighing on you. What is it that makes them stand out? Trusted listeners often share a few traits in common, I think. First of all, they stay present without rushing to speak. They're, they listen to what you have to say. They respond with warmth and curiosity, not with judgment and not with justification for their own point of view and why their point of view is right. They don't hijack the conversation with their own stories. Trusted listeners validate emotions, even if they don't always share the same point of view. They empower you to have your own authentic emotions. They remember what you said. And sometimes they even follow up later. And most importantly, I think, is they do not betray your trust and confidence in them. That is so critically important. Trusted listeners make us feel calm, respected, and safe to share our vulnerabilities. I think these are feelings we all have uh, uh, a desire to have in our confidant, in the person we can go to when we truly need support. And to be able to develop, to be seen in that fashion is absolutely critical. And I just noticed something I did. I looked away from you, and that's because I was distracted. And instantly I realized that and acknowledged it. Uh, this is not perfection. This is a work in progress, and we all need to be consciously aware of what we are doing. Trusted listeners make us feel calm. They make us feel respected, and it's safe to be vulnerable with them. We can show them our weaknesses and not be afraid. These feelings, again, are ones that everyone craves. We want that person in our life. We want to feel the power that person can give to us in any situation where we have need. Um, I think the power of validation is critical to be a good listener. One of the simplest, most powerful listening tools is, in fact, validation. Now, that doesn't mean saying you're right, it means acknowledging that your experience is real and it is meaningful. Uh, and we can do that just with simple reinforcing language like, that sounds really painful. Or I can see why you feel that way. Or, of course, that would be hard. That makes total sense. Validation often calms the nervous system. When someone feels seen, they no longer have to work so hard to prove themselves. They can just relax, open up, and share their true feelings. Uh, Being able to let silence be a part of the process, to do some of the work. Uh, we tend to want to fill silence with noise just as soon as it happens, often out of our own nervousness or our own habit. But silence gives people time to think, to reflect, and say more. Silence communications the listener's patience. When someone finishes a thought, it's great to wait a few seconds. That simple pause might be all that is needed to go a little bit deeper. And that's such a gift to give. You know, your speaker may have had no one with whom to discuss issues who would not interrupt, interfere, or intervene. Even if the speaker to whom you're listening doesn't have anything more to say, uh, that's okay. You've still shown that you're not rushing or distracted by something else, that your time is dedicated to the listener, or pardon me, your time as the listener is dedicated to that speaker and what that speaker wishes to share. Uh, One of the things that thinking through this has helped me the most in is, when, how should I ask more? Uh, some people really don't want to talk and actually don't know how to get started. Um, that doesn't mean they don't want to talk or they don't want to start. They just have been shut down so many times uh, that if they feel you're shutting them down too, um, the trap slam shut and you won't get another word out of them. They'll just say things that are unhelpful, uncommunicative, unenlightening, like, fine, don't worry about it. That's okay, when it isn't at all. A gentle, open-ended question can invite more discussion, more digging without any pressure. Uh, how have you been feeling about everything today? Uh, and then letting silence work for you. Uh, very often that question gets asked, and the person asking the question, you as the listener, stampedes right over it and blocks any conversation or from the speaker. Um, I find that to be one of the most difficult challenges for people is to be quiet when they're listening. And isn't that an oxymoron to be quiet when you're listening? You could even ask something as simple as, what's been on your mind today? Where have your thoughts been leading you? Do you want to talk about it? Or would it help to do something else for now? That way they can redirect the conversation in a way that's more comfortable for them or more urgent for them. The key is to offer space, not push, and not override it. The goal isn't to extract information. The goal is to create conditions where sharing feels valued and even welcomed. And very often, in our own uncomfortableness with the silence, we make the speaker feel unwelcome or unimportant. I One of the things I've really looked at hard is knowing when not to continue to probe. Being a good listener also means knowing when to back off. If someone gives short answers, avoids eye contact, or changes the subject, they may not be ready or willing to discuss it with anyone. Doesn't mean you're a failure because you couldn't get in there and dig it out of them. They just were not ready. I've learned to respect the boundaries that this listening carries. Uh, when I respect those boundaries, I show that I care about those boundaries and I respect them. I can always say something like, I'm here if you ever want to talk about that more, but that's up to you. That simple sentence keeps a door open and it preserves trust. You're not going to try to get something out of them that they don't want to give. A friend's seems off maybe and hasn't said much. And you can always say, you seem quiet today. If there's anything on your mind, I'm here. If they hesitate after you've waited for a few seconds, remember that one Mississippi, two Mississippi, three Mississippi, uh, they may hesitate, but they may say, oh, it's just some stuff with my family. Uh, And if they don't go any further than that, then you can just say, boy, that sounds heavy. I'm here if you ever want to talk about it. Again, no pressure, but lots of respect and trust. They may circle back to it later in the conversation. They might share something like, "Oh, it's been a really rough week for our family. Um, my brother has been having some serious health issues, but I haven't told many people. Uh, Because you offered space without pressure, maybe they'll feel safe enough to share. You certainly don't want to pop in there with, well, uh, I know just what you mean. I've been through this before. They don't want to hear our stories. They want someone who will listen to theirs. They will ask if they want some empathetic feedback. We don't have to pounce on them and pretend that our story is their story because it is not. Uh, each of us has our very own story to tell, and each story is unique. One of the things I think I'm going to do this week, I think I'm brave enough to do it, is to reach out to someone that I trust and ask them the question. Uh, I've been working on a better listener. Uh, do you feel like I really listen when we talk? I, I could even add something like, is there anything I could do different to make you feel more heard when we talk? Uh, any question like that is going to take a degree of vulnerability on our part. Uh, but it is one of the fastest way to grow and to become a better listener, I truly believe. Um, I was talking, I was listening to my niece the other day. She's going through some stuff. And I was really surprised as I listened about what I learned. And the act of asking her, she said, shows that I'm really committed to our connection and that she valued that because I was the one of the few people she felt she could go to with anything. That made me feel so proud, so happy, so humble. Uh, and she said, one of the best things is you're not afraid to make a mistake. She she said, you don't expect for everything to be perfect. Um, you're just yourself, uh, open, actually understanding the meaning when she talked, uh, not overriding the conversation and telling her what she should or should not be doing. Instead, I validated her and her feelings. Uh, that to her added to something she felt powerful. And she said, you're on my go-to list. And I said, well, you're on my go-to list too. And honestly meant it. Uh, be that person. That's my goal, is to be that person that people will go to with whatever they has, because it just is more than being heard. It is about understanding their journey, not necessarily agreeing with, but understanding their journey in a world full of noise. I think that is probably a truly rare and meaningful gift. So I want to thank you for being on this uh, listening journey with me. Uh, whether you hope to deepen future relationships or present ones, lead more effectively, uh, or just connect more honestly with others, strong listening is the place to start. And you're already on your way. Keep practicing, keep showing up. The people in your life now and yet to come will be so grateful that you did. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.